All right, so remember I'm trying to walnut blast the intake manifold, or not the manifold, but the valves. So I took off my spark plugs, right? That way I could turn spin the engine over so I get I get the piston into top dead center, so that way I could blast that piston, that valve. So what I'm gonna do to figure out top dead center, because normally people have like the valve cover off and they're looking at the timing chain and all this stuff, and I think also if you look at where the pulley is, I think they have timing marks there as well. But I'm not gonna do it that way. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna stick this little thing in here into the spark plug. I'm gonna feel for top dead center as I spin the pulley. Okay. So let's look at where the pulley is. So I'm gonna spin the. Let's see. It's hard for you guys to see it because it's so dark in there, but right down in right there. Not this one right here, but this one right here. It's a 19 millimeter. So that's the crank pulley. It's a 19 millimeter. So that's the one that you spin. And you only spin it in one direction, okay? So don't spin it in both directions. And let me see, which direction was it? Was it clockwise or counterclockwise? I'm trying to remember. I think it was clockwise. You spin in the direction that the engine is supposed to spin in. So let me try to look it up. I can't remember exactly now. All right, so so turn the crank. If you're looking at it, you're facing it, the pulley. You turn it clockwise. So Honda actually made a spot for you to stick an extension through and a socket through. So let's look at it where that is here. So you look down in here. You look right there. That's the little spot right there. See that little star thing right there? That's where you stick your socket through, and it's a 19 millimeter. But I'm not going to do that because I don't want to take off my wheel. I don't have extension that goes that far from out here. I've seen some people putting a really long extension from out here, from outside the wheel all the way through. But I don't have that long of an extension to do that. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna use I'm gonna do it from up here, from right up in this spot right in here. I'm using this wrench right here. So hopefully this wrench will reach. So this is my my Tecton 6-point swivel wrench. From what I just heard, or at least on the internet, and this is not recent. This is like maybe this the news on this was out like I think like a year ago. Was that Tecton stopped making this wrench, and the one that they have now, I believe instead of a 6-point, it's a 12-point, and that's really unfortunate because 6 points is the way to go. I don't know why they even bother with 12-point, especially on a socket. If it's a socket, it should always be 6-point, right? The only time you want a 12-point is maybe on a box wrench, right? But anyway, so I'm kind of going off on a tangent. So anyways, I'm gonna put the wrench in, and we can see where that goes. Let's bring this back up. Let's see. So it's clockwise. I suppose you could stick it down in here too, but I think down here you don't have as much space to turn the wrench. But from up here you have plenty of space. Yeah, right there, got plenty of space. I can feel the wrench turning too, spinning, or the pulley I should say. So let me show you. So there's my wrench, right? That's my wrench right there. And it's all the way connected. Let's see if you guys can see it from this angle here. I think it's probably too dark in there, but hopefully you guys can see it. It's all the way, it's right down in right there. Obviously it's not focused, but that's where it is. So this right here, that's a different pulley, right? This one right here is a different pulley. The one I'm looking at is right here. So you actually spin that. And before I do that, I'm actually, because since I'm gonna be replacing the belt as well, I think I'm gonna take off the belt, just because the belt doesn't do anything. It just drives the alternator, the AC compressor, and let's see what else does this thing drive. And it's on the Let's see, alternator. Oh, what's the water pump? There should be a water pump down in there somewhere. Oh shit, is this? Does it drive the water pump or is it an electric water pump? No, no, I see it. All right, so the alternator is the top one, this top pulley right here. Then below that is the water pump, and below that is the AC compressor. So it's all in line with each other, almost right on top of each other. Then the shiny one right here, that's the belt tensioner. And that's it. And the main crank pulley is all the way down the furthest bottom towards the back. The biggest one, that's the crank pulley. That's it. Those are the only pulleys. So I'm actually gonna take off the belt. That way, because I'm gonna have to replace it anyways. So that way, there's less drag. Well, let's see. Let me spin it and see if there's drag or not. If I feel too much drag, I'll take it off. If it doesn't have that much drag, I will leave it there until later, until I actually replace the belt itself. Let's see. I'm gonna look at my here's my little poker. I'm poking this down so that way I can see top dead center. Right. So let's look at this thing. See how far it goes up and down. Right. So if I pay attention to this thing, see how far it goes up and down. I could see. I can see if I'm at top dead center or not, and you guys could see this, right? This little mirror thing right here, magnetic mirror. So right now it's going down. It's going down. I think it's at the bottom. Yep, it was at the bottom. Now it's going up. It's going up. Get this out of the way here. So it's pretty easy to spin the crank, so I'm not going to take off the belt right now. I'll take it off later. Still going up. Still going up. I think we're almost at the top. It's not going up as fast. Okay, we're at the top. Yep, we're at the top. It's not going up anymore. I spun it a little bit. It's not going up anymore. That pretty much means we're at the top. Yeah, interesting that this the spark plug socket sleeve in there, it's made of steel. So my thing is magnetic here, so it wants to stick to the side of it. That's kind of funny. Let me see if I have something that's non-magnetic that I can stick in there. That's long enough where I can stick in there. Maybe a screwdriver head or something. Let's see. Let me look for something else because I don't like that magnet because it kind of interferes. Because when it sticks to the wall, it's not going down. So it might be giving me a false reading. Okay, so I decided to just use this socket extension. So with it at top dead center, it will be something like this on the top of my valve cover, but when it's down, it will be sunk in. But it won't sink in. You know, it won't be this deep. You know, so I'm okay there. So I'm gonna stick this in here. Make sure that it's all the way down there. So there's a step right there. That's where the thread starts. It's like a shelf. Then wiggle it around a little bit, and it goes all the way down. Okay. So now let's look at that right there. Make sure you guys can see that. Can you guys see that? I think you guys can see that. Little top right there. So let's do this again. So I'm gonna spin my thing clockwise. So it's like, oops! Oh shit! I just dropped my wrench in there. Damn it! I have to reach in there and grab my wrench now. Let's see how deep this thing is. Oh, it's not too bad. There's still space. Yeah, that's plenty of space. It goes in pretty deep though. Alright, yeah, reach down here and see if I can grab my wrench. Let's strap the wrench down in there. Damn it. All the way down to the floor pan. Okay, so I got my wrench out. So let's look at this right here. Let's see how deep it is in there. Yeah, it's all the way in there. Okay, I think on the bottom is starting to come out a little bit. So it goes in pretty deep. So let's bring this thing back to top dead center again. And let's see how deep it actually goes in. Alright, I see the center coming back up. So you guys should start to see it popping out pretty soon. There it is. It's popping out, right? It's popping out. I'm gonna pay attention to it. It doesn't go up anymore, that means it's at top and center. Oh, it's starting to go back down actually. Actually starting to go back down a little bit, slightly. So I'm pretty much at top dead center right there. We just passed it actually. So let's pull this out and let me show you how deep it actually goes in. So where the top of the spark plug where the thread starts, this thing went all the way to about somewhere around right here. Somewhere, you know, the top of the spark plug thread was like either right here or right here somewhere. It was kind of hard to tell, but it went in pretty deep. So anyways, so that's pretty much the top. All right. Now I'm gonna look at my valves real fast. They should be closed. And they are. That was like bright. So they're closed. I'm gonna call it good for that spot. So now I need to prep this by blocking up the hose here. I'm gonna block up the hose. All the intake hole, you know, the manifold. That's four, right? Four intake manifold holes here. I'm gonna tape them up, tape the other 3 up. I'm gonna put a rag over this so that way that dust doesn't get into the engine and the spark plug. And I could do my walnut blasting. Yeah, so let's do that. I should wipe some of this clean though. It's kind of dirty. Wipe it clean so that way the tape could stick. Otherwise the tape doesn't want to stick if it's dirty, if it's oily, right? So let's wipe it real fast. I don't really need to wipe that first one because I'm going to be blasting that one. Wipe all this. Right, wipe it all, cover it up, tape it up. Alright, so I got my little shop vac right here, so I'm get freaking dust everywhere. Got my walnut blasting gun right here. Need to connect the air hose to it. And let's see my safety glasses. Got some safety glasses, right? It's gonna be a lot of dust. At least I'm assuming there's gonna be a lot of dust. So I'm gonna connect the air hose real quick. So here's my air hose line. See, hopefully this fitting. So this came with the gun, so it should fit. This is universal. All right. All right. So let me turn on the vacuum. I'm I'm gonna be something like maybe like this, something like that. Turn on the vacuum, and actually let me turn on my air hose. I haven't even turned on the air hose yet. Turn on my air compressor and make sure I turn it up to 100 plus psi. So normally I don't have it that high. I usually have it at 50 because I usually just use it for pumping up tires. Turn on my vacuum cleaner, my shop vac. Flashlight. Wow, it really sprays everywhere. It's just shooting back into my face. Good thing I put on safety glasses. So I'm just gonna keep on doing that, and I'll do it off camera. You guys don't need to see it. All right, so I'm done with one hopper full. Let's see what it looks like. Let's see if you guys can see that or not. So it looks surprisingly clean. And you know, I didn't even go in here and pre scrape or anything. You know, I didn't get my screwdriver in here and scrape off the big chunks yet or anything. I just blasted away. So you see on the left side, you see there's still a little bit a chunk left. On the right side, most of it's gone. I still see a little bit towards the back on the right side. But surprisingly, it works really well, and it looks clean, really clean. Everything looks really clean. So I think the rest of that, I'm gonna go in it with a screwdriver and just scrape it. Then I'm gonna blast it again. So I think that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna scrape it first with the screwdriver. You know, my little flathead, my little flathead right here. And scrape it first. Then I will blast it. All right, so I'll empty out the second hopper. And there was still a little bit of gunk left in it. So I actually had to take a dental pick. Take a dental pick and take a dental pick to clean it out. So I use a dental pick to scrape out whatever, you know, especially behind the valve. You know, the valve's there. Behind the valve, you know, the walnut doesn't really have a direct blast on it, so it's not able to clean it up. So I have to scrape it from behind with the dental pick, and you see a little bit of the you know, the gunk from there. So there's still a little bit of some stuff left. I think what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna spray some like carb cleaner into it, carb cleaner in there to clean up the rest. Maybe I should do that first. Spray the carb cleaner in first, so that way it can loosen up everything. Because everything's already wet anyways. It's already oily, so it doesn't really matter, right? So carb cleaner should help dry it out actually, and hopefully that will clean it out a little better. So I do that first. Spray carb cleaner in there, then scrape it, then walnut blast. I think that's the better order. All right, so I went through 3 hoppers full already, and sprayed some carb cleaner in there and scraped in there. So it's kind of hard to see with the bad lighting, but anyways, it's pretty clean. You know, it looks almost new in there. You look at in the port itself, the port is really clean. I don't see any dirtiness in the port at all. The port itself is really clean. The top of the valve is pretty clean. The only spot that I see that I can sort of see that it's not very clean, it's still a little bit dirty, is behind the valve stem. So anything that's behind the valve stem where it kind of get a direct blast, that's where I can see a little bit of gunkiness. That's where, you know, that the dental pick comes in handy. So this works really well. All right, so I think I'm done without that side. So now from now on, I think I'm just gonna go. I'm gonna spray carb cleaner in it first to help loosen it up, break it up a little bit. Let it soak for like a minute or so. Then go in there and scrape it as much as I can, especially behind the stem. Then do the walnut blast. I think that's the most efficient way, and that way I minimize the waste on this on the walnut as well. All right, so I'm on the second one. So my piston's at top dead center. I plugged up the top. So the second one, so the valve should be closed. You see it's all gunked up right there. I see a couple specks of walnut. I'm not sure how that got in there, but anyways, I'm gonna spray some carb cleaner into it. Let it soak for a few minutes to basically loosen it up a little bit. Then I'm gonna scrape up. Actually, I might leave the carb cleaner in there while I'm scraping with the dental pick. Then I blow that out, and I could use the walnut blaster. See, I think that will work better, but we'll see. We won't know until we won't find out until we do it, right? So let's see. All right, so I sprayed in the carb cleaner, let it soak. I scraped with the dental pick as much as I could. As much as I could. What I could see while it was soaking, while it was all wet. And I blew it out. I blew out the carb cleaner. Then I scraped the rest of it that I could see. Then I soaked it again with carb cleaner. And it's a lot cleaner, I think. A lot less gunk. Less buildup basically. But it's still, there's still stuff. So I'm gonna scrape one more time. Then I'm gonna walnut blast it. So I think I do it this way. It saves some walnut. So I don't have to, the last time when I did this one, I used up three hopper full. I think was it 3 or 4? 3 or 4. This time I think I could probably do it with just 2 hopper full. I do 1 full side on one side and 1 full side on the other side. All right, so I only used 2 hopper fulls this time around. So I think the second method works better. It's less wasteful, I should say. I shouldn't say more, I should say less wasteful. So see how it is. So behind the stem, it's gunked up, and the other spot that's gunked up that I just figured out I need to go back to the first piston and go with, see the if you look at the valve right there, the closest spot to the valve to the camera, down there towards the bottom. So underneath there, towards where the intake manifold, where it comes in, and right before it meets the valve, there's a lot of carbon buildup right there as well, and you can't see it. And also the walnut blaster can't reach it either. So you have to actually go in there and use the pick to scrape that off, and that's quite a bit in there. And also on the stem to the stem, if you look at where the stem comes from, that little hole up there, that's built up there as well, where the manifold, or excuse me, the walnut blaster can't get to that. So you have to scrape that as well. But you have to be careful that on the top of the stem, because that's a seal right there. So don't scrape the seal. Just scrape just shy of the seal, and you should be good. So just go in with the dental pick. I go in with the dental pick in this, pointing down, and I just hook into that spot right there, where the right before the valve is right there, and that's scraping off all the junk in there. So anyway, so I'm done with this one. So I think I'm gonna go back to this first one, because I didn't scrape that bottom section where the valve and the manifold comes together right there. I didn't scrape that section. So all right, let's look in the first one. And I just cleaned up underneath, right, where you could see, let's see, right, down in the valve in there. Dang, it's like so hard to see with this thing. It's just not focused. You see all the gunk that's in there, right? So that's quite a bit of gunk that I didn't get out. So went in there, clean it out. So I'm about to blow it out with the air compressor. So but once that's done, it should be done. It should be good. I already cleaned up where the stem is, where it goes up on the top, where the stem and the seal is, the seal for the stem, the valve stem. All right, so I'm on the third one from the passenger side. So this is the dirtiest one here. This is the one with the most gunk, I would say. Let's see, look, focus in there. So it has the most crap in it, for sure. Right, the most buildup basically. So again, I got it at top dead center. I'm gonna spray the carb cleaner in there, let it soak for a few minutes. And when if looking at that gunk, if you have a top dead center and you spray in the carb cleaner and it doesn't hold the fluid, and it starts to drain down, that either means you're not at top dead center. So spin it around again, and that's fine if the fluid goes into your cylinder. It'll break down the oil a little bit, whatever, because when you're doing this, you're gonna take off the valve and do the valve adjustment and everything too. So you're gonna change the oil afterwards, so it doesn't matter. So anyways, if you're at top dead center and it drains, you try find the top dead center again. Spin the crank around again, and if it still drains and at top dead center again, then that means your valve, the gunk that's built up, it's built up enough where it doesn't let the valve completely seat, so it's leaking. It's leaking. So once you do the cleaning, it will stop. Because I had that on this cylinder. It actually, the first time around, it didn't hold the brake cleaner, and I spun it back around, and it didn't really hold it very well. I could see it's like slightly doing a little bit. So anyways, I cleaned it up, then I tested it again after cleaning it, and it held it, and then it didn't drop down anymore. So I have some brake cleaner and such in the engine, so and it's no big deal. I'm not concerned about it. And if you are concerned about it later on, when you button everything back up, leave the spark plugs open, no spark plugs, and crank the engine for a few seconds. Whatever fluid or whatever's in there, it should blow out from the spark plug hole, and you should be good. But anyways, so I'm gonna squirt in the brake cleaner, and we'll see if it holds the fluid or not. All right, so I've had the brake cleaner, or not brake cleaner, carb cleaner in there for quite a few minutes. I've been scraping with the dental pick here. See all this gunk there from this valves in here, and it's still holding the fluid. It's not dropping down at all, so that means the seal is good. So I've been scraping, loosening up everything as much as I could. So now I'm gonna blow out the fluid, and let's see what it looks like. Actually, I'll blow it out on camera. Let's see. Where's my blow gun? So my thing is empty, so I'm just gonna go in here and just blast it out a little bit, really lightly. You see it coming out. Alright. So blast it out. So let's look into it and see what it looks like. So let's see. So you still see it's pretty gunked up. So now I can actually see the gunk, because when the other when it was filled with fluid, you can only kind of feel your way, so you can't see as well. So now that I can see it, I'm gonna go in there and scrape some more. Then I'm gonna walnut blast it. All right, so I did two soaks of carb cleaner. So let's look at it now. It's a lot cleaner now. Got most of the gunk out, loosened up whatever thick stuff. Now I'm gonna walnut blast it, and I think I should be good. Two walnut blasts, one on each side. All right, so let's look at it. So I just cleaned it, just took 2 walnuts. After the first walnut blast, I still had to go in there and scrape it, scrape stuff. just because it's kind of how it is. So yeah, that one's good. All right, so last one's done. Got it. All right. So it's cleaned up. It's all good. So now we can move on. But anyways, so that's walnut blasting. So just because wherever you blast, where the walnut blasts, you can see where it blasts. That doesn't mean it's cleaned up, because there's spots where it doesn't hit directly. The walnut doesn't hit directly. Those spots don't get cleaned up. They're still dirty. Like behind the valve stem, for example, you have to scrape behind there, and where the front end of the valve, where the intake manifold comes in right before it hits the valve. There's a little curve there that the walnut blast can't get in. You have to go in there and scrape it up. So yeah. So I think the best way is to use the carb cleaner. Spray it down first. Spray it down. Let it soak for a few minutes. That loosens it up. And get some dental picks, right? I got that, and I also use this one right here. It's 45 degrees. So I use all three angles. I use the 45, the 90, and the straight point to pick in all that. Then scrap as much as you can while the carb cleaner is in there. Where it's filled up with carb cleaner, scrape as much as you can. Then spray that, gets the spray it out, so that way it's dried out. Then you can see more stuff. Then scrape some more. Scrape as much as you can. Then after that, spray carb cleaner again and soak it some more, a few more minutes. Then repeat again. Repeat the same thing again. Then after that, then you could go in and spray the walnut. And I did 2 walnut sprays. 2 hoppers, 2 hopper full. Then after that, I go in there and whatever fine little, again with the scrapers, whatever fine little points I could get. And I said that's walnut blasting. A lot of work, man. I've been here all afternoon, most of the afternoon basically. It's already past 5. I started doing this. Well, actually, I started taking off everything around noontime. So it's so I'm in it about 5 hours already. So, and just, it's like each one of these holes is like an hour. 1, 2, 3, 4 hours. And taking off the manifold was an hour. Just, cleaning as best you can. Oh, my back's killing me. So you have to, because I have to hunch over to get down in here to look at it while I'm scraping. So my back is killing me. So yeah, that's it. So that's walnut blasting.